Okay, everybody, it is Wednesday. And do we have a little bit of a surprise for you? Well, it's not little, but it is a surprise. We are doing a little co streaming. What up, T Bone, Carlos, Scuba, and Kate? We have the man, the myth, the legend. What up, Maestro? Oh my goodness. 2 weeks in a row. Man, I feel lucky. And it's the man, the myth, the legend, Maestro. But in addition to Maestro, what up, Detroit? I also have Paul Maitland here. Let's hit a button and hope it works. What's up, Paul?
Oh, oh, how deliciously moist.
How deliciously moist.
Hello, DC.
What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
Deliciously moist.
Excellent.
You'll have to excuse random dog noises. As you can hear, random dog.
We we don't mind random dog noises. So, speaking of dogs, and we will add the cats.
Welcome to my underground lair. You're just in time. Enjoy the share.
My oh my! Thanks, Scoobs. Thank you. 1 year of scuba. Actually, it's like 5 years of scuba, but who's counting? How are the animals doing?
I'm trying to find the best drawing place. There we go. The animals are fine. They are all rampant little turds, especially Booker and Mac. I know you're more interested in Mac, so Mac is his usual turdish self.
Because, I mean, if there's one thing I love, it's turds, right? When you think DC, you think turds.
Yeah, that's why we're friends.
That's it. So, people may be wondering, what's Paul doing here? Well, first of all, how dare you? Paul's welcome anytime he wants. And secondly, if you go to that little link that you see that T-Bone popped up in there, Paul Maitland does DCDcollects. That's what we're doing. Paul Maitland is going to do some DCDcollecting. And by that, I mean a live art while I open up something. Hey now. And also, for a very, very...
Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?
Oh, it's just you, Paul. As an additional little item, we do have the Book of Boba Fett tins available. There's a small price difference, like a $15 difference. Only because obviously those cost us a bit more to get our hands on. But those are available as well. So you can pick your pack on the website, DCDcollects.com. Each of them should have their own individual drop down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to double check it because I made it live. I never tested it. So let's test it together, shall we? No, that was Paul Rubens.
And thank you very much, Katie Bear.
Kate says Paul's art is so good. I'm gonna agree with that. It is so good.
As we like to say on my stream, hashtag rubbing for Rubens.
That's
And that's not against terms of service. I checked.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, Doug? So while Doug's here, I got a story for you that you might get a chuckle out of, Paul. Doug's like, I'm gonna take the Doctor Who pack. Let's get him working right off the bat. All right, so we will do the Doctor Who. Let me go in and remove that pack before somebody buys it out from under you. There is your 15-second warning, peeps. If you want to buy that pack out from under Doug, get there before I do. I have a funny Doug story that ties into last week's stream. So as you know, last week we were trying to find the Atomic Warheads fun dip which we found out was sold out everywhere in the world. We found it. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, it is on its way. So I told Doug about the ridiculous story. And he says, you'll never guess. I have a candy story too. And he says this while opening a large package of candy. Very specifically, this type of candy right here. So if there's one thing you need to know about Doug is a big fan of butterscotch. I'm pretty sure when Doug gets old, he's going to be the guy handing out Werther's Originals with and without wrappers straight from his pocket to the children that come by. And so he was in Vegas, and he was, that was for a meeting, if I'm not mistaken. And he saw these at his hotel, and he said, oh my goodness, Snickers and butterscotch, I want one. So he grabbed two, brought them to the counter. And the girl at the counter said, that will be $24, please. And he says, I'm sorry, I've only grabbed two candy bars. You must be mistaken. She's like, nope, it's $24. He says they're she said they're $12 a bar. And he says, don't you think that's a little excessive? And this girl, I swear to you, this girl's reply was, he says, doesn't that seem like a lot? And she says, well, not to some people. Let's go through the layers of how funny that is. First of all, no idea who she's talking to. I said, Doug, why don't you just buy the hotel and fire her? And he goes, well, it is a lot. As a matter of fact, Bill Gates thinks that would probably be a lot. And she says, so do you want a refund? And Doug says, yes, I absolutely do. And Doug went online and bought a case of, I don't know, was it 24, 36 for like $30. So he gets the package of these Snickers butterscotch. And of course, the first thing we have to do is we have to try them. Why are they $12 a bar in Vegas? Oh, I'm sorry, 36. Why are they $12 a bar in Vegas? We understand the Vegas tax. Everything is more expensive in Vegas. But $12? Listen, they're delicious because he gave me a piece. And they're not $12 delicious, but here's what I'll tell you. They're $5 delicious. I would pay $5 for this candy bar. That's how good it is. So it was funny that of all the things that two grown men had to talk about when we first saw each other, we both had candy stories for each other. I guess you had to be there.
Now I really want the Snickers butterscotch.
Right, listen, they're good. Like I'm not a giant butterscotch person. I enjoy butterscotch. I'm not going to eat a Werther's Original, but they're actually they're quite tasty.
Right. I would like to say I'm out of the woods for the heart thing. I'm not out of the woods for the pre-diabetic, stop eating so much sugar, you old fat dude territory.
Me too.
I'm still well and truly in that territory.
All right. So in addition to Doug, we do have a Carlos. What up, Carlos? We have a Carlos pack too, but we're going to get started with Doug. Doug said he's going to take the BBC Doctor Who alien attacks. Now, Paul, Doctor Who is on the BBC. The BBC stands for the British Broadcasting Channel. Just in case you weren't...
Corporation.
Corporation, that's right.
Don't make that slip. Don't slip. It's very easy to get confused when you say BBC. I tried Googling BBC. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Safe
Don't do it.
search on.
Don't do it. So, British Broadcasting Corporation. And I knew that, and I said it wrong. That's great.
We're already going off the rails.
Well, you put Paul Maitland and DC the Breaker together, of course it's going to be a hot mess. But, you know, we're focusing on the hot part and not necessarily the mess. Doug's like, I'm going to get an email from Twitch admin after
Cubby,
this.
clean up in aisle 5.
Maybe. Kate says, I'll be the savory over sweet person like soy sauce Kit Kats. Oh, Kate, you and you alone. All right, let's see what's inside Doug's pack. What up, Sapporos?
You're not helping.
The Seventh Doctor and Ace. The Censor. Speaking of censors.
Sylvester McCoy.
We are looking. Cyberman. That's an OG Cyberman. Scarecrows. Well, at least they're not angel statues. Gregor Van Balen. Not to be confused with Eddie Van Halen. This is Gregor Van Balen. Though they look a lot alike. Oh! Oh, me love. Oh, me heart, me corazon. I love me some Amy Pond. Hey, what is your thought on Amy Pond?
My personal thought. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. I was born right towards the end of Tom Baker, so I ended up with 2 mere doctors. But Amy Pond is a good companion. I'll give her that. But my favourite was Donna Noble.
Donna? Davros.
Yeah, Donna. I think Donna was my favourite companion. Don't judge. Don't hate.
The 7th, this card is... Card seems weird. I don't know, like it has like a sparkle to it. It's like textured. Oh, it's a little different. The 7th Doctor and the Master. And then the 5th Doctor and Tegan. Doug says, I'm TARDIS in space. That's all I want. TARDIS in space. Where is my wife?
I already kind of preempted.
Oh yeah, Doug loves the TARDIS. He's a big fan of TARDIS. All right, so there you go. How many doctors? All of them.
Now, you know how in the UK every British person has that one episode of Doctor Who that completely messed them up?
Yes.
Mine had to be the doctor who messed me up was Sylvester McCoy, and all of my Doctor Who friends take the absolute mic out of me because the one that got me was Paradise Towers. Now the story is all the machines in this super high-tech building just start crunching their way through the residents. But the really funny thing about it was I became a huge Aliens fan in later life, and they used everything in Paradise Towers was branded Weyland-Yutani because they had just finished filming Alien 3 and basically stole a ton of stuff. So everything is branded Weyland-Yutani in that episode.
Yeah,
comes together.
Doug's like, Kate's feisty tonight. Kate's like, me? Never. Now, when you are deciding spatially, when you're setting up a sketch card, what is the first thing? Like, you want to draw the eye line. So spatially, what are you trying to plan when you have a centerpiece and a background? What do you want the focus to be, and how do you determine that?
I can't go by, like, I suppose it's golden ratio, because I think with the golden ratio there is a sort of pattern where focal points need to be along one of these. So I'll find a scrap bit of paper. I don't want to use. So, so this is our sketch card. We have here, 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 and here. These are supposed to be more spaced out, but these are like primary focal points. So if we're doing a face, the eye line, so the head should really be like slightly further up than everything else. It's going to be up a little bit of center. That's how I do it. So I will start, eye line is always going to be smack dab right about there because it's a focal point. And everything that comes away from this focal point is just going to get, as further you get away, less detail. So I'm kind of lazy. I'll give you an example. Hang on, I'll show you something.
Remember, this is a children's show.
Oh, it is. Don't worry. It needs to be children friendly. I did an art exchange recently with Beer Easel.
Oh, nice.
I'll be good. I'll be a good boy. Right. So I sent her an alien picture. She sent me this, and this is a great example of pouring all the detail in the focal point and then letting everything else kind of like fade away into rough strokes. But she sent me that.
Oh my goodness. Hey now.
I literally stared at this like it was the business card scene from American Psycho. I just literally put this up and sat at it and stared at it for like an hour.
Did you get angrier and angrier and break into a cold sweat?
Poured in here and everything else. Not anger, just well, things I can't repeat, but yeah. So as you can see, all the detail on the face, everything else gets looser, and that's how I do that. That's essentially the same way I do a card.
That is
even here,
wicked.
this is essentially a face. That's the eye line.
Carry
on.
Yeah, so I believe
I was just like,
if Da Vinci, Van Gogh, and Rembrandt were alive and had the patience to teach somebody as a threesome, I'm still confident I would manage to not be able to draw when they were done with me. So I've always been fascinated at people who have actual talent.
There's a difference between having talent and then having skill, and I skill needs to be worked at, and it's like a muscle. You just got to keep it going. And I'm drawing every day, even when I'm not supposed to be drawing. But I can definitely see a huge difference if I slack off for a little bit, and yeah, you'll see it. Hang on a second, I'm trying to catch up with... Looser it is, yeah. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to see if I've got an example that I can show. I don't think I can. I don't think there's actually anything I can show. Well, there's this, and at the moment this will look absolutely pants, but once we're finished, we're going to end up with something. I go in with the big broad strokes and just get finer and finer and finer until we end up with that. So I know Lee's much more technical with this sort of stuff than I am. I'm still figuring it out.
I normally here would say I'm a layman when it comes to this, but I think by virtue of my position and how long I've been doing this, I can no longer claim to be layman. But I will say you can tell the differences in artists, and I don't know the terminology, so I'll give you my terminology, Paul, and everyone else listening. Sometimes you can look at something and be like, that is a great base painting. And then you can see times where somebody took what I call their finishing brush and went over the top of it with their finishing brush. And that is the fine, 5 to 10 haired brush that is just getting highlights, lowlights, and the like. So it in the way I've seen people do it.
You're not wrong. you're not wrong. I've seen some people where they'll paint something and then they go, "Okay, I'm finished," and I'm like, "That would make a good base drawing," but it's a lot of people get scared of shadows
Hmm.
and they tend to either avoid them completely or just make them completely solid. But there's always so much going on in the shadows. Let me give you an example. Right, so this one, this green here was an afterthought, and this is still in production, so don't judge. But I just want to make it pop a little more, and I felt it was getting too flat and shapeless here. So adding this secondary light source and
Hmm.
showing like the other plane of the head. So if it's a square, demonstrate. So if that represents the front part of his face and that's the side, because we're going to have some light coming on here, it accentuates the shape of it a lot more. So it brings in a lot more form.
Dig it. And
Does that
Carlos
sound
is
arty
like,
enough?
yeah, Carlos, like I'm soaking this all in right now. This is great. Carlos, not a novice with a pen and ink either.
Yes, I have been keeping up. I think I've had a couple of questions from Carlito. Um, yeah, Paul makes. See, I'm under restraint at the moment. I'm not allowed to make them. If I was on my stream, we'd already got to the duck story by now.
What's going on, Blind Cat? How are you
I'm
doing,
being
friend?
good.
Hey, whatever you do, listen, folks. This is a public service announcement. Do not tell Kate, and specifically, do not tell Blind Cat that there is a Tron pack in this run. They are not to know about it. They've
Oh yeah, you
told
wouldn't
me
want
to
that.
stop baiting them. So we're not going to bait them. We're just not going to tell them.
Phrasing. Hang on. There is literally a reward for this. Thank you.
So we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore.
You're welcome.
It's still probably one of my favorite things that I put in there. Actually, no. You know, I'm gonna lie. I have to say it. Even though it's niche, the "You Got Dangled" is probably the best thing I ever put up there. I mean, that's just timeless at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna agree with you there. Right, let's see if I can get this a little bit sharper because I'm doing rough details.
So what we are gonna do is we're gonna jump
I
into
want more. And I know I shouldn't.
While you are working on that, Carlos bought DC Cosmic cards. We're going to thumb through his pack, and he's going to come up with a good idea while you're working on that one.
Phrasing.
Carlos! I believe this is your Cosmic card, Carlos. Is it random or... Kate, it's pick-a-pack. This is... When we do the live shows, it's typically pick-a-pack. Okay, just throw it on the floor, baby. It's scrap. It's garbage. It's okay. Just pull it off. Pretend it's clothes. There you go. There you go, man. You got it. All right. It says bonus holograms randomly inserted. Boy, wouldn't it be cool to get a hologram? Let's get a hologram for Carlos.
Phrasing.
Silver Age Wonder Woman. Elongated Man. Paul, not now.
God damn it.
Troya. New Gods. Modern Age Green Lantern. Great Battles. Shazam. Warp. Armageddon 2001. Phantom Lady. My goodness. She's barely wearing clothes. That's spicy for DC.
What? Hang on, I heard the pull signal go up. What?
Phantom Lady. More like Phantom Costume, am I right? Steppenwolf. Great band.
Oh God, giggity.
Rocket Red, not to be confused with Red Rocket. Or Johnny Rocket.
No.
Or Ricky Rocket. And finally, Crisis on Earth's Uno y Dos. This was before the Earths were infinite. This was when it was just Earth 1 and 2. Oh, yeah, Sapporo's. Yeah, now, absolutely. Red Rocket and the Elongated Man in the same pack. What are the odds? Not very good, so congratulations, Carlos. You got the Elongated Man. All right, Carlos, so now you have to choose.
Me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Carlos is like, what was that girl's name again? Without the clothes?
I thought people would be more into the big muscle mummy of Big Barda myself, but there you go. That's just me. I'm sharing too much. I'll be quiet.
We will. Sapporo is like her name is Phantom something. Phantom Lady. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back while he thinks about that.
Phantom Thong.
Let me help you, buddy.
Hi, everyone. Now you're left with just me. Me. Okay. I don't know. Give me a second. My electric one's busted. Giggity. Overuse. There we go. Seal this up quick. Because I was thinking, hey, Phantom Lady.
I'm going to give it to you. Don't touch anything, okay? What up, Brent? Brent, watching Doctor Who, you got to do it, bud.
Right, give me a second. I'm just sealing this quick sketch, and then I'm going to seal it a bit more, and then we can crack on. Never seen Doctor Who either, but I know they are on first.
Kate says, I was singing, hey, Phantom Lady. Whoop, 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 a Gundam style.
Whoop, whoop.
Sapporo's like, yeah, I can hear that in my head. You're welcome. How about Wonder Woman?
The creator of Wonder Woman was very much into... Sorry, carry on.
Carlos says, how about a saucy Wonder Woman or a Green Lantern? Well,
What,
that's
saucy Green Lantern?
the saucy Green Lantern. Yeah. Carlos, you may have done that to yourself, bud.
Ryan Reynolds.
But without the CGI, it's just him in the mocap suit.
Was it a mocap suit though? Where is he going to put the ring? Think about it. Think about it.
I know, buddy. I'm waiting.
Now stop thinking about it.
Carlos is like, I'll take it. So it sounds like it's a Paul Maitland's choice on that one.
So so a Wonder Woman or a Green Lantern, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the next one coming up?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, was it the creator of Wonder Woman was very into women being the superior sex and how the world if it weren't for the man keeping them down? He was also, I believe,
maybe.
he had a wife and a girlfriend.
Oh. Oh, wow.
I believe that's the story.
Sounds expensive.
There was actually, is it Luke Evans who played Dracula and Gaston actually did a movie about the guy?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, well, now you know. There is a movie about the guy and his philosophies.
Blind Cat says, hey, what was the Superman cover from the Remark? I actually still have it. That was one thing that didn't get mailed out, Blind Cat. I'll show you real quick. The absolute Wonder Woman with the giant sword.
Grab some paints and we'll start slapping together. That's what she said. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, nice. Is that Posca?
Yeah, that didn't get sent out per previous instruction. Everything, including my Australia shipment, went out. So Joe, shout out to my main man Joe out in Australia. His package is on the way. I'm going to email him the tracking on that. I do. If you look behind me, hits from the 80s are there
Is that
too.
remarked with Posca?
The Huda Wawa?
Yes.
The
remark cover there, was that done in Posca?
What's Posco?
It's do I have one here? Here we go. It's these little things.
Probably.
Wonderful pens. I'm thinking so.
I'm sorry, Jim. You're just going to do something else, honey. Mommy didn't answer in time.
This has got to be a little wetter.
Oh, Paul, you're killing me, Paul.
Don't say that to Paul.
How am I killing you?
Because now there's one way to get it wetter, Paul, and that's with a bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
Yeah, you lost your camera, bud. No, Paul's camera died.
Bottle of water. Oh, it died?
Yep.
Hang on. I'll get it back. Give
She
me a
turned
second.
me into a newt. I got better.
Oh. Yeah, I know what the problem is. Give me 2 seconds just to beat the living daylights out of it, but it will work.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. The makeup camera I've got is not supposed to operate with the battery door open, which means there's no aftermarket AC adapter that will actually work with it.
Ah.
So you've got to jab it. There we go. Bing! There you go.
Oh, hello.
You get back?
Yes, gotcha.
Hello there. It's a marvellous design flaw. Moist.
A little bottle of water.
A little bottle of water. A little bottle of water.
What else do we have in line?
Let me check. At the moment, we are caught up, but I believe Blind Cat is feverishly trying to get the Tron, but likely battling Kate at the same time. So he's typing with his left hand and defending himself and his body with his right hand. I believe she has a rolling pin, as she is a baker, and is probably pummeling up the head and shoulders. She is defending herself by saying, I literally posted the link. Well, that's just a front for when the police come. Scuba's like, I'll buy it out from under them, just like the Ronin. And she said, rip Scuba. Gonna commit moida.
Wait it. Oh dear. Just be thankful I can't tell any of the stories of the podcasts I listen to on my stream, because that would make Sapporos probably puke. I'll tell you off stream.
Okay. She wouldn't be saying that if she saw...
One for delicate ears.
I bought a spawn slab. Oh, she's like, I'm all for it because I need to spend some money too. Sapporos, he was just talking about what an upstanding citizen you were and how beautiful your cat is.
It is an adorable cat. Alright, so...
¿Qué pasó, papi?
Bear with me on this. I'm not used to doing mechanical things. I tend to prefer more organic stuff. So this is actually a little bit of a challenge.
Well, make me a bicycle clown.
Hang on. There we go. Oh, you've had a ping, good sir.
That was Melissa sending me the code too late to sign into Netflix. As you know, Netflix, if you have multiple Rokus, they only allow you to sign into X amount of them because they think that you're sharing passwords instead of traveling. So you have to tell them, I'm not at my home, but this is mine. Send me the code for them to authorize it. And unfortunately, she works and she's very high in demand, so she oftentimes can't respond immediately to texts, and this was one of those times. I promise I'm not in trouble.
Boo. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's all right. Jimmy's now watching Sonic 3.
It's now out for free.
I've been watching... I've never actually seen any of the movies, but I gotta say, I think they did a bang-up job getting Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
It is a dang near perfect casting.
I can't think of anybody who would have done it better. Especially when he's playing the older version as well. I'm still excited to see the new Superman, though.
I am too. I passed on the last two Supermen. I do enjoy some Henry Cavill. Because, I mean, look at him. Who doesn't enjoy some Henry Cavill? But I've passed on the others. I'm actually very interested in this one. I really like the vibe they're going for here, and I think and they've said they're bringing it back to the roots of more Christopher Reeves type Superman. And that is where I want to see it go. So I'm going to give this one every opportunity that it deserves. I'm going to go into it very open-minded and with very minimal white noise from the outside world.
Same. Because I grew up on Christopher Reeve's Superman, so to me, I think it needs to get back to that. I found the Cavill ones too dark.
Yeah.
Way too dark. I didn't. I thought, they wasted Zod. It just didn't seem. No, I was not a fan. Not a fan at all.
I mean,
It feels like Warner Brothers really don't know how to market. Oh, carry on.
I unabashedly watched it because it's just Henry's a magnificent beast. I've had a man crush on Henry Cavill since The Tudors. So I didn't. He could have been just word chewing on screen, and I still would have watched it.
I mean, I don't blame you. I'm straight, and I'd still, yes, Henry Cavill all the way.
Yep. Makes me question a lot of things about life looking at him.
Without going into too much detail.
Yeah, no, I get it. And to find out that he's a nerd just makes him that much more attractive.
No, for me, it was during COVID where he's building when you're seeing someone build a PC and then he says, "Oh, GoPro's dead," and then you turn around and it's Henry Cavill in a vest on his dining table building a PC, and then the next post is, "Oh, I've made this lovely roast beef with Yorkshire pudding," and I'm like, "Good God, is that what female gaze is?"
And my favorite part about him,
whatever it is, I've got it right now.
Yeah, my favorite part of him building the PC is he's like, "All right, you have to be careful because the pins bend," and then it cuts. He goes, "I had to go get another one. The pin bent." It's like, oh, look, Superman makes mistakes.
Yeah, and I also loved him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. I
Yes.
thought Man from U.N.C.L.E. was incredibly well done, and I would like to have seen a sequel to that.
Ditto. Yep. Yeah, they were both
Very
good.
much would have liked to have seen a sequel.
Boy, Army Hammer, man. Talk about terrible timing.
Yeah, that was a fall from grace, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. He's allegedly back on the radar. He's got a few smaller films that he's done since then. He's trying to get back into public graces. I mean, it's not like he actually ate a human being. He just fantasized about eating human beings. Who hasn't had the errant thought of just digging into somebody's ribs with a little bit of barbecue sauce?
Only as a survival thing, though. We're completely ignoring the chat. They're talking about this Spawn comic.
It's because Blind Cat is looking for a newsstand #1 Spawn. I've had feelers out, but even raw, it's $300, and for getting it graded, I mean, you can buy them pre-graded for only $100 more. But I have been looking, Blind Cat. It's the price between a raw one and a signed one is almost negligible at that point. So it is a tough one to come by in good condition. A 9.6 for $250. See, that's a pretty good price. I've been seeing it $300 and up. Scoob's like, you can have him for $300 for 2 days. That per hour is a great deal. I would have Scuba redo my roof. I would, for $300, 2 days worth of work, I would send him up there on a ladder with some shingles and have at it, Scoobs. $300 well spent.
Yes, hello. I would like to buy 48 hours of your life, please. Delicious. Like I say, mechanical things are not my forte, so you're going to have to excuse me if I'm being a little slow here.
That's all right. You don't have to finish the piece. You can finish the piece on your stream.
Possible, but still. And what was the other one from Carlos? It was Wonder Woman or
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Saucy or not saucy? It sounds like it's your decision.
Green Lantern. Okay, let me just look up saucy
Either
Ryan Reynolds.
Wonder Lantern or Green Woman.
Okay, I should have turned Safe Search on. That's a little saucier than I was expecting.
So glad you were not live to your feed.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I think is the phrase, oh. Oh, dear Lord. That spandex be tight.
Gonna need a little eye bleach after that.
Could I do right? No, that one's going in the bank. So what do we reckon? So Green Lantern or Wonder Woman, or do we want to do Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern dressed as Wonder Woman? I think that's a little excessive.
Well, that's up to the buyer.
Hang on, let me do... Well, Carlos, what do you want? I have no shame. That's been well established. What would you like? Do it. Saucy Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, as Wonder Woman. Okay.
We'll call that Saucy Ryan.
That's going to be a challenge, but...
Wait a minute. Why didn't that work? Let's try that again.
I'm so small. I'm so small, Mr. DC. Why would you make me so small?
Quiet you. You're just lucky to be here.
Oliver, knock it off. Please, sir, I'm just so small, cold. Just want some more.
Please, sir.
Right, hang on, I've got to double check. Make sure this isn't... Okay, we're not doing the Australian version.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the Australian version. Oh, to get into the chat,
smuggling in this picture.
The CGC signatures, when they do it, it can be brutal per signature. You gotta wait for them to do group signings. They tend to be a little bit cheaper, as they did with like the Wolverine #1 when they got everyone involved for that one.
Deary me.
So you said it was a photograph of Ryan Reynolds dressed as Green Lantern smuggling plums?
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was just him from Blade Trinity, actually. Handcuffed, no less.
Oh. Yeah, Trevor's talking about at the post-COVID SDCC. Paul actually did, Todd. I get you and Todd McFarlane confused. Todd did a free signing session, and he signed something like, I think he said like 12,000 signatures or some crazy thing over the course of 5 days. It was nuts.
I've got to practice here because I've got to get Ryan Reynolds just to spot one.
Oh man, here we go. Here's the process, folks. This is what we're here for. Get your popcorn ready.
I wouldn't be too excited. I'm still trying to figure this out. Is that a good picture of him? We'll see. Trouble is, he doesn't look too Ryan Reynoldsy in this picture. I might have to. Yeah, actually, gonna change that one. Don't like that one. Yeah, this isn't just like doing it straight from a. Oh, there you go. That's the perfect face, I think. And hang on, trying to find a different pencil. So it's got these very eyes. I was in roughly the same right spot.
Kate's like, I can guarantee right now Blind Cat is on Whatnot looking at comics. Hey Paul, I have a really serious question for you. Can I ask can I ask it of you?
Certainly.
It's very near and dear to my heart, and it's something that could cause a lot of drama, but I'm willing to go over it here with you. Hey man, who do you think the next James Bond should be?
Oh, good God, you shouldn't have asked that. That is.
The debate is on. There's apparently issues with the Broccoli family, Mrs. Broccoli, whose husband started the productions, and Amazon, who now owns the rights but not creative control, are at an impasse. Apparently, she has actors in mind, and they have actors in mind, and they are threatening to not produce a movie. Even though she has full creative control. So there is an argument as to who's going to be the next James Bond, and I want to hear an English expat what they have to say.
See, I've actually had this discussion with quite a few people, and it's usually gone into about 2 hours. And I've had a lot of names thrown out at me, but go on.
Sepulros, Amazon owns the distribution and the rights, but the Broccolis did not sell creative control, so the Broccolis have full creative control. So Amazon cannot tell the Broccolis how to make the movie. They can just choose not to distribute it. And since they are the sole distributors of James Bond, that would basically mean they could make a movie and it never see the light of day. What up, KP? How are you?
The problem is it's finding the right balance. And James Bond has sort of gone from, I've noticed a pattern to James Bond, is it's gone thug, dandy, thug, dandy, thug, dandy, thug, dandy. So we should be in line for another dandy now. Because we could definitely class Roger Moore as a dandy.
Yeah.
And I could definitely think, so, that is... I really do struggle with picking someone. I know the guy who played Kick-Ass was
Yes.
in the running.
Yep.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yep.
After his performance in... it's such a hard call. I know Roger Moore at one point backed the actor Colin Salmon for the part. but now he's too old. It's a bit like Idris Elba. I think he's not in the running.
Yeah.
Uh, it's so hard. It's so hard to pick. I mean, I could think of roles for everybody else. No, I wouldn't be happy with Robert Pattinson. It, you know, uh, you need somebody kind of like late 30s, I think, for the part. Really, that kind of mix of it's. You see how I'm stumbling over it? I am really
Yeah.
struggling.
What about
I
Taron
can't think of many
Egerton?
people who would be good. I think he brings a lot of baggage with Kingsman.
Yeah.
I also think too baby faced.
Too pretty?
I'm gonna say too baby faced for it. A little bit, yeah. You need someone who looks like they've been in a few fights.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone who basically looks like a squaddy. Uh,
Jason
the
Statham, you're talking about, Kate.
Jason Statham, no. Yeah, Jason Statham. I think he's probably a bit past it on that one as well. Um, it's just getting that right mix of suave and thuggishness at the same time, and I'm not sure there's a great many actors who can really do that well.
So the next
You've got to go
James
from
Bond might not have
charming
been
to
born
thinking
yet.
this guy could smash your face off. Oh, I don't know. It's just so hard. I mean, but then again, also I haven't been watching a lot of movies lately, so I can't really rate what's out there too well. But I haven't seen anybody I think who's got. I mean, there was somebody like the guy who's in Outlander was banding around, and I'm like, again, too pretty. Somebody said Charlie Hunnam, and I was like, absolutely not.
Is Charlie Hunnam short?
I plead the fifth on this one. Yeah, well, they don't have to be like ridiculously tall. It's just such a hard one. I kind of struggle with it, and like I'm struggling with Ryan Reynolds at the moment.
Why are you erasing it? That looked like good head.
Giggity. No, I think I want to. This is the trouble with me live streaming it. It's incredibly hard, Katie. It's relentlessly firm and hard and difficult.
Roger Moore was a better
Just
Bond
beat that
than
in there.
Brosnan. Mrs. The Breaker is a Pierce Brosnan fanatic. She just loves and talks about him and Jeff Goldblum. And she believes that as they get older, they get finer like wine.
Yeah, I mean, I think, oh,
Oh, Amy.
really,
Hey now.
honey, really?
Hey now.
Oh, damn.
Now your marriage makes so much more
Oh, damn.
sense. Now I get it.
So we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore.
She's not a Brosnan fan herself. Oy vey.
I'm still trying to find a good reference for Ryan Reynolds. Hang on. I might dip out for just a quick second to say, what the hell are you doing, wife? But give me a second.
What you doing?
She's not a Brosnan fan, no. She likes, she's definitely in the, there we go, we'll go buff. This works. This works. Okay.
She's like, I heard you.
Just
You don't
remember,
need to dip
you
out.
asked for this, Carlos. This is what you get. Connery, yeah, Connery was the.
So you say Sean
Don't-
was the
don't-
best
don't-
one.
Don't you see this card?
He's very good.
Yes.
Probably the best
I have a
one.
riddle for you. A conundrum, if you will.
Does it have to do with
What's the
an owl?
difference between you and a mallet with a cold?
I love Celebrity Jeopardy.
One's a sick duck. I forget the rest.
Simpleros is like, oh, okay, James Corden, got it. You know, James Corden, I'm so happy he left the United States and went back to England. I am. So, and I have a James Corden story. Well, you're getting them back. Well, they're getting them back. So I now live in the greater LA area ish, or as close as you can without paying $1 million. And I have lots of friends that are in the industry, and as a matter of fact, went and saw the new Captain America movie. A friend of mine, Josh, worked on it. I sent him a photo of his credits as they rolled by, and a lot of my friends that do modeling, acting, and influencing, and whatever odd job also tend to babysit as well as wait tables, and apparently. James Corden is one of the most horrific people to wait on. He is demanding. He throws tantrums. He's one of those don't look at me when you're serving me type people. Apparently, he's just an absolute monster to be around when it comes to food. And I cannot stand celebrities that are mean, for lack of, and I'm going to say this is a rude term, to the help. But anybody that's in the service industry, anybody that's helping them do something, there's no reason that you should be mean to them. If they drop a boiling hot soup on you, yeah, get mad. But if they're just doing their job and just trying to, do what they can and make their living, that is, there's no excuse for that. I'm as Craig Ferguson, in my opinion, and I say this including Johnny Carson and everybody else. Craig Ferguson had the greatest late night show in the history of television, and I will fight and debate anybody who says otherwise.
And ironically, in the UK, he was a very mediocre comedian.
And that's the rub. He's not.
Craig Ferguson did not do well.
Yeah. Yep.
Bit like John Oliver, in the UK, really unheard of until he came over here and started doing, the late show. Sorry, not a late show. The Daily Show, all that sort of thing. He was like basically an unknown in the UK.
Other than a couple of Red
Like
Dwarf episodes.
A comedian. True. Yep. Nicely remembered. God, I love Red Dwarf.
Yeah, I know. So many people don't understand the amazingness that is Red Dwarf. Now, Paul, I am going to make you small.
American version. Yes.
I'm going to make you small because I actually have something else I need to open.
By all means.
Hey, KP!
You do that. I might grab a quick cigarette while you do that.
All right, man. Thank you for calling it cigarette.
Yes, I'm in polite company.
They're called something very different in England. KP. Hey, you did something. And somebody wants one. So we're going to do a little 80s while we get a sexy Ryan Reynolds dressed as Wonder Woman drawn in the corner.
I actually feel like my stomach hurts.
Your stomach hurts? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need to go potty?
Yeah.
All right, take the keys, honey. They're right there.
No, but it's we get to sit.
Okay.
So I think I'll have to wait.
Okay, put your shoes on, sweetheart. We'll figure it out. Just hang out by the garbage can for a moment.
Why?
You said you don't feel good.
Yeah, that too.
Okay. So, Q, you are able to call your shot.
I'm gonna go pee.
Okay. Because yours is the 10th box of the 22. So you and whoever buys the next box are the last people that get to call their shot. Q, DCDcollects proudly presents to you the 80s. Original art by Kevin P. West. You got 14 of 22. What do you think's inside? The Nintendo was pulled, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. Turntable. The telly.
TV.
Back to the Future 2. All right, who's it going to be? Video did kill the radio star. And then reality TV killed the video star. Just give me a moment, honey. Something to do with music. All right, which one? There's a couple of ones that are music oriented.
Come on, I have the specifics here. Come on.
Do you see the breaker? It's me! Actually, Paul has drawn me, albeit as Grogu.
And Lee's drawn you as one of his French girls.
It is true. Quantum Leap!
If
I loved Quantum Leap. Some of those episodes could not be made today, though.
Very true.
One in particular I can think of. It was a brilliant show. Congratulations! Jimmy even got in on that one.
Yeah, because I saw it.
Survey says, oh, do the truffle shuffle, 'cause it's time to dance.
Nice.
The Goonies. Cue you, Goonie. Hey, you guys. Rocky Road? There it is, man. A lot of people wanted this bad boy, but it's in your collection now. Good old One-Eye Willie. Congratulations, Q. Perfect timing on that buy.
Who is one-eyed Willie?
Haven't you seen the... You've seen the Goonies?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the pirate.
I think I have.
Yeah, you were actually pretty young when you saw that. So... Another framer, I concur. One-Eyed Willie on stream, I've seen it all. All right, I'm going to have to pass the reins for about 5 minutes to you, Paul, as I have a little boy with a need of a bathroom break. So you're going to have to entertain the masses for about 5. How does that sound?
I'm good with that.
All right, we'll be back in a moment.
I'm absolutely fine with that. Hi, everyone.
All right, come on, Poppy. Where's your jacket? It's cold outside.
Right, let me catch up on chat, because I've been trying to do Ryan Reynolds. By the way, Carlos, do you want the green mask on there as well? I'll keep it nice and moist, Trevor. Everything will be deliciously moist. Effervescently moist. Just don't ask me my opinion on James Bond, because I have no idea who's going to play it. Another framer. Kevin, are you there, buddy? What was your favorite out of your recent Star Wars cards? Well, that's a cat for you. Cats despise anything electronic. There we go. Just wait for Carlos to confirm whether he wants the Green Lantern face mask on this. What would be my quintessentially 80s movie? There was just so many good ones, though. Amy's a big fan of The Breakfast Club. For me, if you want the sort of raucous 80s, I've got to say Weird Science. No, Prue, don't make me come over there and slap you. Like totally are, Q. That'd be totally cool. No, not doing that. Oh, Mr. Blofeld. I thought you didn't like Weird Science, wife. For some reason, I had in my head that you disliked Weird Science. Although it had Bill the Legend Paxton in it, so, you know. How about a nice greasy sandwich served up in a dirty ashtray? Met him in person, really sweet guy, by the way. Very sad to hear of his passing. Because I met him at one convention in London. Got to shake his hand. He was on the way filming that Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat. And so we were all dressed up as in our aliens costumes to meet him. Because he was just doing a fly through. It wasn't signing or anything. It was just literally a talk and then leaving. And the next time I saw him was at a Comic Palooza in Houston. And I basically run out of cash. So I was like, I'll get him next time. And then he goes and dies. True, yes, Anthony Michael Hall is one of those who does got better with age. I've met the guy who played the leader of the mutants that burst in, Vernon Wells, lovely guy, Australian. Kept giving me a hard time because I'm a Brit. Kept calling me a pom, and I can't tell you what the other word he said was, but it sounds a lot like busted or tanker. Yes,
All right, I'm
he
back.
was Wes, the road warrior. Yeah. Welcome back. I was just telling everybody, asking what their favorite '80s movie was, and how I met Bill Paxton and Vernon Wells.
Oh, favorite
And
80s movie.
QDC.
Goodness, I don't know if I have a favorite 80s movie.
Like, if you were to say '80s, like, what would be the most quintessentially '80s movie that you could think of?
Breakfast Club.
I did say that earlier as well, but I would have to say Weird Science for me.
That as yeah, you know what? I would say Weird
And,
Science just because of
also
the
featured
CGI that they used.
and Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
a very young Robert Downey Jr.
Amy's like, thank you, DC. Yeah, that's
I
like
was
asking Kevin
not
P. West to pick his
calling
favorite
him a
horror
wanker
film.
at all. Sorry, I slipped.
What?
I slipped. I failed. I've been holding it back, and I just read out what Kevin said without even thinking about it.
No, it's okay. I don't think really, I mean, Wanker's not going to get flagged. Ooh, Princess Bride is a masterpiece.
Dang it. Yeah, Princess Bride. Yeah, that is a good call as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it gets hard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Giggity.
Princess Bride is just is one of the greatest movies of all time. But if I'm thinking about 80s movie, I'm thinking of a period piece that is the like Ferris Bueller's Day Off has to be up there for greatest 80s movie because it encapsulated the 80s. That's how I view the question, at least. Princess Bride is just one of my favorite movies ever.
And I did enjoy the COVID version as well.
Yes.
Paul Rudd doing the whole fight to the pain speech was fantastic, especially that little fake moustache he was wearing. Did you see
Blind
that one?
Cat loves The Princess Bridge, which is the sequel to The Princess Bride. It's where they throw the body of the prince over a bridge into a latrine.
While the old lady says boo.
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 Oh, say anything. There's so many good 80s movies.
I
Anything
can't
with
believe I'm
John
doing Ryan
Hughes.
Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're doing a bang-up job at it, by the way.
I'm going to switch to the TARDIS for a second because I want to block in the more of this background. And then I can start adding the starfield and everything to that.
I love that your chair sounds like a fart every time you move.
Sorry. It's a oh, nearly did it again. It's a low quality chair. My apologies. Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, is that a baseball movie?
I don't think we can count. Say anything? Dark Crystal, yes. Oh, we're forgetting Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Can't forget Labyrinth, though. That's a tricky one.
When was Legend made?
Although, you know what the first casting choice? I want to say 82, but I'm going to double check that.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking that.
Crawl. I loved Crawl.
Kroll was fantastic.
Yeah.
1985. That's why I did a Kroll artwork.
Yeah.
See, Last Starfighter was good. And I know why Kevin's saying Kroll, because I spent ages on that Kroll piece for a commission. It's really nice when somebody goes, hey, I'd like a commission of that thing you've been wanting to do for ages.
Man.
Okay, let's neaten this up a little bit.
Oh, I mean, of course, there's the
There's so
perennial
many good
classic,
ones.
The Wiz.
That was 70s, I think.
Was it? It was terrible either way.
The Wiz, okay.
Oh, I loved Cannonball Run.
There was also Return to Oz.
I love Return to Oz.
78.
Veruca Salt. Or Veruca Baltz, whatever her name is. Cannonball Run. I am a
Close.
massive Dom DeLuise fan. I love Dom DeLuise.
The Wiz with Fred Savage. I don't think was that what one was that? Was that a video game one? I think there was a video game one with Fred Savage. Sorry, DC. What was that movie you just mentioned? My brain's just gone.
I was actually going to say Field of Dreams only if you like baseball. If you're not a fan of baseball or had a good relationship with your father, Field of Dreams is not one that you could use. By the way, what's up, Prue? How you doing?
Okay, bear with me on this one. Hunt for Red October.
Brilliant film. And illegally shot.
Also, oh, do tell.
So, Hunt for Red October did not have authorization to shoot some of the sub scenes and did it anyway. And the U.S. government didn't know until the movie came out that they had exterior shots of certain subs and interior shots of equipment that was not supposed to be in the shot because they got to use an actual sub. So there was actually, let me see if I can find the article I read.
We are also forgetting a very important movie, the one that is in my top list. 1982, and it was a sequel. Oh, thank you, Trevor. I'm trying. I'm used to more of a lackadaisical. So, sequel movie, 1982.
The controversy
quotable
surrounding
line in
Hunt
it.
for Red October is the level of detail regarding military technology in the book led to speculation that Tom Clancy may have had access to classified information, with some questioning whether leaked sources within the Navy gave him information about submarines and weaponry.
Oh, you mean it was too accurate for its own good?
Yes.
Anyway, the other movie I'm thinking of, Wrath of Khan, 1982.
God. Oh, Never-Ending Story.
Exactly, fantastic movie.
Land Before Time with Littlefoot and Petrie.
That is actually a question. Were 80s filmmakers out to traumatize kids as early as possible, and should we go back to that trend?
Yes, and yes. Kids have it too easy these days. Although, without getting into detail, it's going to get much harder for them soon, so they'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Amy says, Wrath of Khan, that movie makes Paul cry. Oh.
It does.
What's
I'm not joking. It actually does.
what's the line? I am and always have been.
I have been and always shall be your friend.
There it is. Amy's like, that's the bit. I knew it.
And I felt a little lump in my throat.
It makes all of us cry. Even when they redid it with the modern cast, you get the relived trauma of the OG movie, and you're like, oh, but it's the other way.
Doesn't help. Doesn't help. I used it as a line in my wedding speech, and I had to stop for a couple of minutes. And everybody thought it was very, very funny.
Yeah, Scoobs, Naked Gun in 1988.
Because I was saying, yes. Do the right thing. Yeah, that was good. We're overlooking one. DC, we should be ashamed of ourselves for overlooking one.
Which one have we over?
Dragnet.
Did you say Dragnet?
I said Dragnet.
Is that the Walter Matthau remake?
Dragnet so much. No, I mean the Tom Hanks, the Dan Aykroyd one.
Oh, yes.
Against good and normalcy.
Revenge of the Nerds. Oh, Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
Well, now, Emil, it's just you, me, your balls, and this draw. That is safe. That is definitely safe. You said baseball loads of times.
Full Metal Jacket. Stand By Me.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, Lost Boys.
Yeah, that was a good one as well. All the original horror that came out in the 80s.
Oh, Willow.
There was... Yeah, this is looking rough. I will work on it, don't worry.
Caddyshack.
Uh,
Oh, Adventures in Babysitting.
No, Caddyshack wasn't 80.
1980.
Oh, just over the line.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Ghostbusters yet.
I know. I'm looking at that too. Oh, National Lampoon's European Vacation. So here's a story.
Big Trouble in Little China.
My first ever on-screen boobies, and I'm using the clinical term so I can say it. One of the guys.
Never heard that one.
Okay.
It's not ringing a bell. Is that the one where the woman dresses up as a guy to make it in big business?
In school. Just one of the guys, 1985.
No, I'm thinking.
William Zadka is in it.
Not ringing a bell. Porky's.
Porky's, oh goodness. That film is the first time I saw boobs on screen, and it left an indelible mark in my life.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. At the end, the big payoff is and I'm going to spoil it for you because, it's 40 years ago. She, confesses that she's a woman, and the guy's like, no, you're not. So she's like, rips open her shirt. And I was at 5 years old, was like, oh, that's not like anything I've ever seen before. Don, what's up, Don? He says, I just saw it on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. It's under the free movie with ads tab. Lunch. Look who's talking. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, lunch. Blind kid, I got that reference.
Nice.
Oh, I miss John. What a great guy.
Wait.
Karate Kid? It's Pat Morita? Yeah, speaking of, Jackie Chan's doing some reshoots right now in LA for that film. The trailer's out, but apparently they're still doing some reshoots.
Oh, Karate Kid Legends.
Yep. Melissa said part of downtown was shut down the other day for Jackie.
Well, that's nice. I like how everybody's sort of getting their revival moment.
Yeah.
Really? Nobody's been tempted to break into that Tron yet?
No. Couldn't get anyone to do it. Top Gun and Iron Eagle.
Yeah, Iron Eagle. Remo Williams.
Rad.
I love that movie as a kid. Of course, we're also forgetting
Gleaming the Cube.
RoboCop.
Oh, RoboCop, that's right. That was my first ultra-violent scene.
Yep.
That was the first time I saw severe violence on screen. Footloose. We haven't said Footloose. If it wasn't for Footloose, would we have Kevin Bacon?
Footloose, Predator, Die Hard.
Heathers.
Oh.
Flatliners.
We also can't forget things like Aliens.
Oh my God, Aliens. Aliens was 80? I thought that was 79.
Aliens was 85 or 86.
Really?
Alien is 79. Aliens is 86.
Yep.
Or 85. And what was it? First person nominated for an Oscar for a science fiction role?
Yeah, Alien was
Sigourney Weaver?
79. Yeah. What about Ice Truckers from Outer Space? Oh, Police Story. What about
Ice
Police
Pirates.
Academy?
With Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Police Academy, yeah. Ice Pirates. My mother loved that movie growing up.
I did too.
She thought the robot dropping nuts and bolts was hilarious. Predator, Police Story, Commando, yep. You know what we have forgotten?
Time Bandits.
Terminator.
Yep, Terminator. Yeah, the OG. Spaceballs. The movie.
How could we forget the Terminator?
Bloodsport. That was another good one.
Yep, Spaceballs.
Youngblood. For the hockey fans.
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer. Yeah, that's another good one. Mac and Me?
Remember that film? Nutsukow.
Every time I hear Mac and Me, I think
Short Circuit.
I think about Paul Rudd going on Conan. And always having a clip of Mac and Me. Wasn't Slapshot like 77?
I think, yeah, Slapshot was the 70s.
Yep, 77.
I love
Look at that.
Slapshot, though.
I pulled that right out of my butt.
I'm trying to listen to the song.
Saporosa says, there's a reaction channel that I watch, and they said they were doing Scarface on April 1st, and instead they ended up doing Mac and Me. People were so mad. Oh, Batteries Not Included was a great movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. Hang on. Trevor Baseball. Hang on, I'm trying to read up.
Better Off Dead. Less Than Zero.
We should set up like a bracket and vote. Artists would still get to choose what they draw. Oh, this sounds like a plan forming. What's that? That sounds. Are you talking like a March Madness of DCD artists competing to get through?
So it's funny. We actually thought about
Are you seeing that?
doing. Yeah, we thought about doing bracket videos, but it was more or less Trevor and Doug and I coming up with topics while having lunch and talking and eating, and getting everyone's input on brackets and stuff. Roadhouse. Ooh, Uncle Buck. Basically every John Candy movie.
Dirty Dancing.
Yep.
Missing in Action. March Madness of the movies. Now, I'd be down for discussing that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do March Madness of 80s movies. There we go.
Oh, John Hughes was a mastermind.
Chat, 'cause I'm trying to figure out whoever wants the green mask on this. Conan the Barbarian. Was that? That might have been 70s.
One of them was in the 80s. I don't know if it was
Destroyer was 80s.
Destroyer, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It was Destroyer, would have been 80s because it had. No, Conan the Barbarian, 1982.
St. Elmo's Fire.
I would also say. Yeah.
I recently rewatched St. Elmo's Fire, and I'm going to be honest with you, that movie's freaking terrible. I love every actor and actress in that film, but that movie is so bad. The plot, the execution, the script, it's a turd sandwich wrapped up in the Brat Pack. Not Joel Schumacher's finest.
You mean along with Batman and Robin?
You leave George Clooney out of this. I hate St. Elmo's Fire, Blind Cat says. Kate says, I wasn't born when most of these movies came out. Yeah, you're still a baby. First Blood, love me some Rambo.
Baby.
Winner Takes All, I remember Winner Takes All. Brewster's Millions.
J. Fox, a movie about drug abuse.
The Toy.
Oof.
Oh, Men at Work. You said Emilio Estevez.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I go to Men at Work. Break into
What
Electric
about Fright
Boogaloo.
Night?
Fright Night? I never got into scary movies.
Yeah, Chris Sarandon, Roddy McDowall.
Yeah, that's why KP doesn't like me, is because I can't talk scary
Vampire
movies.
in next door.
I was never into them.
Ah, okay. Well, Big?
No, Kate, Men at Work was a Emilio Estevez
One
and
with one red-
Charlie Sheen movie about them being garbage men. Yep, Doug, we mentioned Porky's. Bull Durham.
Of course, well, you overlooked one that I love. 82, released around about the same time as E.T. and Elvira was at the premiere. Want to take a guess?
God, Cassandra has so many friends. Go ahead. Sapporo says
The
Creep
Thing.
Show. The Thing. Boy, you're invested in The Thing.
I am really invested in The Thing. That is why I'm so glad to be doing that project, because I am absolutely insane when it comes to The Thing. Amy will tell you I am absolutely enamored with that movie.
You love The Thing. Gung Ho, that was a good one. Michael Keaton.
I do love The Thing.
Kate, the first guy, Emilio Estevez, did not do Puss in Boots. You're thinking of Antonio Banderas. Blind Cat's like, oh my God, thankfully she's pretty. Romancing the Stone.
Woof.
And what was the other one? It was basically they did the same movie twice.
And that,
Jewel of the Nile
Jewel of the Nile,
and Romancing the Stone, same
with
movie.
Omar Sharif.
Yeah. Is that what I'm thinking? Hold on, maybe I'm wrong. Wait,
Yeah,
I
I love those movies. No, you're right.
okay. Yeah, it was basically the exact same movie, but different title and setting. For some reason, that's how I remember
Pretty
it.
much.
Crocodile.
Yeah,
That's
one
a
was set in
knife.
South America, and
That's a knife. Yeah, one was in one was in Egypt, and one was in South America. Same thing though.
yep.
That one of my favorite
Why don't I get the
lines
film
comes
number
from
for
one of
this
those
Ryan
two.
Reynolds card?
When he goes, oh, what is it? She says, "How do
I
you
think I
know
know
I'm
the line.
lying?" And he says, "Your lips are moving."
That's a good one. Oh, we are forgetting another one. Clue.
Oh,
Tim Curry.
fire. Face. Tim Curry, goodness. So, are you hip to the fact that the okay, so Kate, you're not going to get this one because you're a baby. Now, folks, I'm gonna have to tell you, way back before DVDs, you would have to go to a VHS even. You'd have to go to a movie theater, and you would have to watch movies on a big screen with other people around you. That's how you enjoyed movies. And Clue did something that was brilliant. When Clue came out, they shot multiple endings to the film. Now, if you watch the DVD or the VHS even, you see at the end all of the different endings. But depending on where you lived in the world, the ending of the movie was only one ending, and it was one of the endings that you can now see as the multiple endings on the recorded versions. So, if you lived in Europe, you might have saw Colonel Mustard do it. If you lived in California, you may have seen Mr. White or Mrs. White do it. Or it was the butler if you lived in the South. They regionally released endings, and it was a firestorm in the press because people were accusing other people of not watching the film and writing reviews of films they didn't see because they had different endings.
Genius.
Right? That's what I'm saying. All right, folks. So Paul is banging away on the Green Lantern. There are still packs available. If you grab a pack right now, he will start banging out your piece.
I beg your pardon?
Amy says, mine was the butler. I'm Southern through and through. Amy, I never would have guessed.
And apologize, folks. I tend to jump around between projects at the same time. So, like, I'll do two and just drawing, go back to that.
Yeah.
So, I need to start working on some details. Well, no, some people go like, "Why won't you work on that one?" I'm like, "Well, it's wet." So.
Yeah, and your
like,
your pencil is useless on a wet surface.
Exactly.
Up to and including sweet tea. So I'm going to say this, I'm going to get slapped for it. I lived in Florida. I know it's not the South because Florida's Florida. But it wasn't until I lived in Florida for many years that I realized why you drink iced tea in the South and not sweet tea. Because your body processes the sugar and actually can increase your core temperature. So by drinking regular iced tea unsweetened, it actually cools you off more than sweet tea does. Yes, Don.
Oof.
'80s was great.
I mentioned Tango and Cash. I love Tango and Cash.
Back to School. Oh my
Again,
God.
Kurt Russell.
The Triple Lindy. You like your tea unsweetened? Well, it explains Paul. Escape from New York.
See, whereas I love sweet tea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Private School, Shakespeare for everyone. Paul loves his tea out of the harbor. Ooh. That or microwaved.
If you could see my face right now, actually,
It was Sapporos, not me.
no.
Mischief, oh man. Yeah, actually, drinking ice water is doesn't absorb as fast as room temperature water. That's why marathon runners will if you hand them ice water, they'll just dump it. It shocks your system, causes cramping too. Blade Runner. You know, I've never seen the original Blade Runner. I'm being honest.
What?
Yeah, I know. I've never seen Blade Runner.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apocalypse Now is on my favorite list, but I've never seen Blade Runner. Batteries Not Included. Yep, mentioned that one too.
Surprised no one's gone with Flight of the Navigator yet.
Mm-hmm. Little Mermaid. That was 80s.
Was that 80s or 90s?
I want to say it was 89. '89, yep. Arnold movies. Running Man. Yeah, that was a good one. Paul wants to take a trip to Boston so we can throw coffee in the harbor. Yeah, but if you do it in Boston, it's coffee in the harbor.
Kathy.
After you park the car in the harbor.
How was
yeah.
that? How am I getting on my Bostonian?
It's still a little British in there. All right, Scoobs, love you, man. He's got to go murder riding tomorrow. All right, Doug, see you later. Fox and the Hound. All right, folks, it is almost
Voiced by Kurt Russell.
11 Eastern, so we're going to call first last call on our one day only Paul Maitland event. Last call on Paul Maitland. And then, Paul, you're going to continue streaming, right? Or are you done for the day as well?
No. I'm probably going to be done for the day.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm not actually streaming at the moment. I'm just guesting on yours. That's it.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, go.
I'm saving myself all for you, DC.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Paul, are you still able to get the proper strongbow?
No. No, tell a lie. You can get it seasonal. So during the winter, they don't tend to stock it. But other times of the year, yes. So they consider it more of a summer thing.
Man, I'm still angry that I cannot get the OG
so
out
I
here.
can get it during the summer. Well, and it's just tricky shipping it to you, isn't it?
Well, depending on where you get it,
Otherwise, I'd happily ship you some.
California is a reciprocating state, so if I can find a website that has it, it will ship to California. I can cut out the middleman and save you the heartache.
Okay.
I just need to know where to find it. And I warn you, when I find it, I will not be in public for probably 3 days, because I will be in a full drunken stupor. Total Wine and Spirits?
Easy, Total Wine. That's the one.
TotalWine.com. Oh, goodness. I may have to call in sick tomorrow. I can get a half keg for $229. Oh, it's out of stock. Never mind.
Or you can get the cans.
Yeah, but I'll just take a half keg. Strongbow is one of my favorite memories from the Navy.
Strongbow is fantastic. It counts for about half of the cider sold in the UK. It is basically the biggest seller there is.
Yeah, and the Golden Apple is just not good, in my opinion. The OG formula is
too much sugar in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Strongbow. I was actually not introduced to Strongbow in the UK. I was introduced to Strongbow in the Middle East. But nobody told me how strong it was. So
Really?
we would buy it by the pitcher. It was $5 a pitcher. And I would just take a pitcher to the face and then would try to get off of my bar stool unsuccessfully. A lovely cider in Glastonbury.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Magner's Golden Draft. How about
I
a
knew
nice...
the wife would kick in with that one.
Yeah. How about a nice Boddington's?
Oh no, can't do that.
Not a
me
Boddington's
personally,
fan?
but I've heard other people say it's good. No, I'm not actually a beer fan. I don't like beer. That's why I'd stick with the cider. Everybody would turn around and go like, "What, you 12? Why are you drinking that?" And I'm like, "Because I don't like anything else."
And it's twice the alcohol of what you're drinking?
But like, oh, yeah, can be. Hang on a second.
Haven't had Boddington's? Boddington's is good.
And I think
I
we
like
need a
it.
Nice...
Whatever you do, never buy Grolsch. It tastes like it sounds.
Although the advertising campaign is fantastic.
I don't think I've ever seen a Grolsch ad.
I'll have to send you a link. It's definitely not safe for this channel.
Grolsch is a skunky German style beer. It's like skunky by like on purpose. And it is what I would imagine siphoning urine directly from a skunk would taste like. It's almost as bad as Chisk from Malta, which is usually referred to as goat urine. The trick is you have a bunch of shots before you start drinking it, and then you don't taste it at all.
How would I describe Grolsch? The taste of losing. The taste of the regret of losing the Second World War.
We lost. Scheiße. Yes, put that in the beer.
Pretty much. That's why they have to go and visit their grandpa in Argentina now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what's going on, Lee Cozy?
Salty. I'll be quiet.
Lee's here. Ladies and gentlemen, look, it's Lee Cozy.
Hi, Lee. I'm behaving myself, by the way, Lee. Totally. Not saying anything untoward at all.
Well, now that Lee's finally here, we can start saying goodbye. Suppose like I'm totally not trying to push Paul's buttons, as he says while hammering Paul's buttons.
Right now, it's like that bit from Family Guy. Sapporis is there just going, "Mummy, Mummy, Mummy, Mama, Mummy."
With a sledgehammer, Amy says.
That line was off, so I wonder.
It reminds me of when somebody mentioned to Tom Holland that English food was bad, and he took offense to it.
Oh, you don't want to be doing that. Well, I'm going to warn Doug now. The lettering on here is not going to be good because I don't have a super fine line pen, but pen or a paintbrush to do this. So I'm going to have to try and see what I can do.
Oh, you're going to freehand it.
This is very. Oh yeah.
Saburo says Paul is salty because we made
trying to
salt
avoid using
tea
pencils
in
as much
Boston
as I can.
Harbor.
I'll tell you what, Sapores, that joke's getting so old we're going to have to carbon date it soon. Just saying.
That's an archaeology joke.
It certainly is now. Hang on. There we go. A couple more details and that will be Doug's done. It's a bit slow, everyone. This one's a bit tricky.
No. We're enjoying the view.
Lies, all lies. There you go. There we go. We'll call that one done for Doug.
Nice.
And now onto the monstrosity that is this one. Yeah, sorry, my camera's in a new place. It's a new camera. I'm still adapting. There we go. Buff Ryan Reynolds. I feel dirty.
Amy likes your TARDIS.
Right. I am going to have my TARDIS. Oh, right. Sorry, wrong thing. If you want to, if you want to take fun, and this isn't terms of service violate, I swear. Although you don't want to watch it on stream, you want to look up the gay Daleks.
I have seen that. I think you made me see that.
Yeah. You're welcome. Gay Daleks go camping is hilarious.
He makes everyone see that, she says.
I also make everyone watch the Fast Show appearance of Johnny Depp, and I don't think anybody's going to blame me for that one.
The what
Have you seen that
show?
one? There was a comedy show, like a sketch show in the UK called The Fast Show. And so they'd have recurring characters, and one of them was two tailors. And they would always make smutty innuendos around customers and heavy implications, etc. And in the last episode, they did like a 3-part episode. It was going to be their last ever episode. They run for about 8 years, and then they were like, okay, that's it, we're done. Johnny Depp turned up as a guest star on the show. So he walks in, and so these two tailors just start going at him, and they're like, "Are you perchance an American, sir? Been here long, sir? Boned anyone yet, sir?" I'm just making all these inappropriate comments to Johnny Depp. All you have to do is type in "Fast Show Johnny Depp." Yes, it has, and one of the tailors is played by the guy who plays Ronald Weasley's father in Harry Potter. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Lee says, I loved when Prince Charles visited the Doctor Who set and they let him use the Dalek voice modulator. So somewhere out there, it is canon that King Charles is a Dalek.
If you believe the conspiracy theories, absolutely. Yeah, catching up. Sorry, I'm losing myself in the gorgeous eyes of Ryan Reynolds. Apparently, I'm finding him tricky at the moment because he's lusty in this one.
It's just funny to hear you say it out loud.
What, lusty?
Bit lusty.
Oh, that Ryan Reynolds, that little cheeky chappy. There's also this game show, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it's called, but it's done on, I think it's either College Humor or Funny, or I think it's College Humor. And it's a game show. And they're given prompts, and one of them was there's this guy called Brennan, and I can't remember what his other name is. But the prompt is Tim Curry, if he was the spokesperson for Hot Topic. And this guy's Tim Curry is on point.
Yeah.
And he just bursts out, chain wallets. You know the one?
No, I have to see that now. Tim is in rough shape. By the way, if you're a Tim Curry fan and you want to get a hold of his autograph, I'm going to tell you, get it now. It's going to go up in price, I think, fairly soon. He is not.
He is doing well after his stroke, though. He still gives good interviews.
Yes. But his signature drastically changed. He had done a signing just before his stroke, and after, his signature is what you'd expect.
I saw him giving an interview though, and they said like, which is the lost love that you know on set romance that you kind of like wish you could rekindle, and he goes, oh, it's easy really, Miss Piggy. Once you have pork.
He's the best.
He really is an absolute treasure, and his album's actually on Spotify.
Is it?
For those of you who are on Spotify, he has an album on there from the Vaults. Yes, so it's a lot of him singing. If you're into Tim Curry singing, there you go. And Anthony Head used to play Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Does a pretty good version of Sweet Transvestite.
Rocky Horror Picture Show was a movie that I wasn't allowed to see when I was little. So it was not because my parents were prudes, but because it was just they didn't know how to parent sexuality in a way that was adverse to what in the 80s was a norm. And I say that as their description, definitely not mine. So it was taboo, and that was the one movie that like I spent most of my youth trying to sneak a watch of, and finally got to do a Halloween theater experience that was, unbeknownst to me, immersive. And doing the immersive experience was life-changing and very, very moist.
Because you know how much I love it moist. There you go.
All right, peeps. Well, we are going to have to check the gate. And we may have to call it a night. The gate is clear. Mr. Paul! I think it is time,
Yes,
sir.
DC.
It is 11 o'clock your time.
It's quite all right.
And it is 8
That's
o'clock
quite
my
all right.
time.
I figured this would be the time we finish up anyway.
And I have a little boy who's required to not be up late by law. Especially when there's video proof.
Indeed.
So I think
you
at
want to be
this
careful
point,
about that.
before we get too saucy with the Ryan Reynolds Wonder Woman, which by the way is turning out just absolute
I'm working on
stellar.
it. It's getting... We'll see if we can make this work. This was probably a bad idea.
I am very excited to see the final product, so hopefully I'll be able to catch your next stream. When are you streaming next, Paul?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely none whatsoever.
Well, I'll just have to turn my
I
alerts
don't
on.
stick to a schedule because if I stick to a schedule, it starts to feel like work. Exactly.
Is
So there you
is
go. At
that
least we got one done for Doug.
is that a
That's his
small
TARDIS
building
place.
in your backyard? A schedule?
Schedule, yes. Sorry. Schedule, as you colonials like to say.
I bet you it's made of aluminium.
Come on, you've all watched Jurassic Park. You should. Oh.
It's aluminium. Sorry, it was my favorite thing I learned in England when I lived there. I was like, I'm sorry, it's what now? Hey, I can't say. Listen, I will tell you what I
Thank you
tell.
very much, Trevor.
I will tell you what I tell everybody else. The people of the UK are not saying it wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, we're saying it wrong. They invented the freaking language. So whatever they say the pronunciation is actually the pronunciation. We, the masses, have it wrong.
Such a nasty art table surface. Some like that, Patina. I hated it. It's because I've got a glass table and the only thing I had was a drawing board that was incredibly well used. And that is why I have a very, very dirty tabletop. Aluminium is better than aluminum. Aluminum.
All right.
Autumn is also better than fall, because
It's true.
leaves fall down. Sorry, soapbox time. You want to get me off my soapbox? Run for it, DC.
We do have to go. So with that said, I am actually going to go to camera one. Amy's like, DC, don't ruin it for me. Amy, I can't ruin it for you. You get that 24/7. I am low key jealous of your exposure to Paul. And believe me, if I lived on the East Coast, you would see me more frequently than you'd ever want to.
She doesn't seem that keen on the exposure when I get out of the shower.
Har har. All right, with that said.
Where goes the Wonderworld?
Doubtful. All right. Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang with us and do a couple of quick paintings for us. So, with that said, everybody, as always, I love each and every one of you, so please take care of yourselves and each other so we can do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow, in addition to the 80s, I may have another project that featured not only the legendary artist Paul Maitland, but another legend in his own right, Dr. Lee Cozy. So maybe, if I were you, I would tune in tomorrow too. I will see you then, everybody.